The word mad in Tajweed means to lengthen the sound of one of these three letters, Alif, Waw or Ya. There are basically two types of mad, a natural mad and a secondary mad. The natural mad is based on a few conditions. Number one, the letters of mad do not have any mark on them, not a fatha, not a dhamma, not a kasra. Number two, a fatha must be present on the letter before the alif. A dhamma must be present on the letter before the waw. A kasra must be present on the letter before the ya. 3. We lengthen it for 2 counts. Let's do some examples. The letter of mad, the alif, has no mark on it, and the letter before it has a fatha. It reads Qaala, lengthening the alif for 2 counts. The letter of mad, the ya, has no mark on it, and the letter before it has a kasra. It reads Qiila, lengthening the ya for 2 counts. The letter of mad, the waw, has no mark on it, and the letter before it has a dhamma. It reads Yaqulu, lengthening the waw for 2 counts. These are commonly known as the long vowels, and we have spoken about it in more detail in our Arabic learning videos. The second type of mad is called the secondary mad. Most of the time you will see the symbol of mad above it, which looks like a wavy line. The symbol is actually derived from the word mad, and gradually took this form. The wavy line is only a sign used to indicate a mad that is lengthened longer than the natural mad. The secondary mad occurs when you see a long vowel, and after it you see the letter Hamza, or you see a Sukoon. If you see a Hamza after the long vowel, there could be 2 scenarios. The first scenario is when the Hamza is connected to the same word as the long vowel. In this example, we see a long vowel and we see a Hamza directly after it in the same word. If you see it like this, then we lengthen the long vowel for 5 counts. So this would read إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. We lengthen the long vowel for 5 counts. Another example. We see a long vowel followed by a Hamza in the same word. We lengthen it for 5 counts. It reads وَلَهُمْ سُوءُ الدَّارِ. Another example. We see a long vowel followed by a Hamza in the same word. We lengthen it for 5 counts. It reads كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا هَنِيئًا. The second scenario is when the Hamza is disconnected from the same word as the long vowel. In this example, we see a long vowel in one word, and directly after it, we see a Hamza in the next word. If you see it like this, then we lengthen the long vowel for 2 or 4 counts. But make sure this mad is always shorter than the connecting Hamza of mad. So this would read إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ. In this example, we see a long vowel in one word, and directly after it we see a Hamza in the next word. We lengthen it for 2 or 4 counts if preferred. It reads الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُمْ. Another time where you have to lengthen the mad is when you see a Sukoon after the long vowel. In this situation, we also have 2 scenarios. The first scenario is when we create a Sukoon when it comes to the rules of waqf, i.e. stopping, as explained in our Tajweed videos. For example, we see a long vowel. When we come to a stop, we change the last vowel to a Sukoon, as per rules of waqf. So when you see a long vowel followed by a Sukoon that we created, we lengthen it for 2, 4 or 6 counts. The verse reads Maliki yawmiddin. Or if you want to recite it longer, Maliki yawmiddin. However, after choosing one, we must be consistent with that number. Another example, we see a long vowel. When we come to a stop, we change the last vowel to Sukoon, as of the rules of waqf. The verse reads Fir'auna wa Thamud. Or if you want to recite it longer, Fir'auna wa Thamud. Don't forget, after choosing one, we must be consistent with that number. The second scenario is when you see a long vowel followed by a permanent Sukoon. Then we must lengthen it for 6 counts. For example, We see a long vowel followed by a permanent sukoon. We lengthen it for 6 counts. It reads al-an. Another example. We see a long vowel followed by a sukoon. Don't forget from our previous videos, we said the shadda is actually a doubled letter. Therefore, the first meme has a sukoon and the second meme has a vowel. Since after the long vowel we see a permanent sukoon, we lengthen the long vowel for 6 counts. It reads mudahammatan. An easy way to remember this one is when you see the mad symbol and after it there is a shadda, then you must lengthen it for 6 counts, just as shown in these examples. The same rule applies to the separated letters that are recited at the beginning of certain chapters in the Holy Qur'an. Like in this example, it writes Alif Lam Mim. Let's rewrite these letters so that we can understand. We see now that the long vowel in Lam is followed by a permanent sukoon. We lengthen it for 6 counts. The same goes for the Mim. We see a long vowel followed by a permanent sukoon. We lengthen it for 6 counts. It reads Alif Lam Mim. Let's do another example. Let's rewrite them to make it easier to understand. From this, we see the first letter has a long vowel followed by a permanent sukoon. Therefore, we lengthen it for 6 counts. The second letter has a long vowel, but it's not followed by a sukoon. We lengthen this for 2 counts because it's a natural mad. The third letter also has a long vowel, and it's not followed by a sukoon. It's a natural mad as well. The fourth letter has a long vowel followed by a permanent sukoon. We lengthen it for 6 counts. And the last letter is the same. We lengthen it for 6 counts. To summarize everything, if you see a long vowel followed by a Hamza that is connected to the same word, we lengthen it for 5 counts. If you see a long vowel followed by a Hamza that is disconnected to the same word, it is optional to lengthen it for 2 or 4 counts. If you see a long vowel followed by a sukoon due to the rules of waqf, it is optional to lengthen it to 4 or 6 counts. If you see a long vowel followed by a permanent sukoon, we must lengthen it for 6 counts. And if you see a long vowel that it's not followed by a Hamza or sukoon, it stays at 2 counts. There are other grades and subcategories of mad, and can be difficult to remember them. There is also a difference of opinion on how many counts each mad should be. These are the basics and prefer to master them before advancing.